service call, and just then I went out there and I spent some time with the principal, and I think we would gain more reward.
Alright, so I've said it since pretty much day one of my channel that working musicians come first, and unfortunately this young lady who has been a customer of mine for a long time, I've done work on this guitar, just doing setup work generally. She's in a band called Calico Bones. You can look them up on Facebook, and I don't know if they have any kind of YouTube channel, but if they do, I'm sure that it would be very entertaining and probably worthwhile to find. But this weekend, as the description of the video states, this guitar got blown off of its stand by wind. And unfortunately, you can see the crack that this headstock has sustained. So here we go, getting her glued together. As you can see, pretty good crack, and I'm going to keep moving this thing back and forth, create some capillary action to get that glue to penetrate all the way down in the crack. And I've already rehearsed the clamping process.
Yeah, and same with those guys. Those are, you know, I'm pretty sure they're going to pop for us. Okay.
I know I can get full 100% glue penetration in here. It's cracked down the neck here a little ways. So we're going to keep pushing glue into this crack. Probably going to put a little bit more in here just to make dang certain. And it is cracked all the way through. The finish on the front of the headstock is cracked. So I will be able to tell if I've got, and I can already feel, I can't feel any glue on the front side of the neck yet. So let's put a little bit more in here. We got to make sure we get enough glue in here to do the job. Way too much glue, right? Perfect. And kind of scanned this thing out when it came in. This was a situation where, unfortunately, she broke it at a gig this weekend. And she has a gig coming up this coming weekend and needs to use this instrument. And the bass that she owns. It's a beautiful bass. Y'all are going to love seeing that one. We'll get that one out here soon enough. And start gluing that one up. I want to make sure to get... Now, prior to putting the glue on this instrument, I have went ahead and used a little bit of water along the crack to help wick the glue into the crack here. Probably really didn't need to do that, but I want to make sure to get definitely good penetration on this. I'm going to look at the front side. Yeah, okay, it's looking good. So I'll go ahead and wipe off this excess glue here. Way too much glue, and that's great. And we'll get all this stuff off of here. Get my rag a little wet, more wet here. You know, when you're on YouTube, you want to be careful, because sometimes you get exactly what you deserve. And that is God's honest truth. And I got exactly what I deserved this weekend. And I'll talk more about that, but actually I won't talk more about that. I'll make a video about that coming up in probably within the next week. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get some Q-tips here. I want to get the glue out of the screw holes, or the machine head holes here as best I can. We'll clean all this up soon enough. But you can see it's not rocket science doing this, obviously. The real science in it is to have clamps and be able to get it clamped up properly. And with clamping, you want to always, it's one of the few times to say always, but you want to rehearse it. See, that piece came out of there. I'm going to try and put that piece back. It is right here. What direction? Where's the top of that?
It's Lusk, L-U-S-K. L-U-S-K, L-U-S-K, okay. I just put L-U-S-K. But,
that will be under the machine head. That little piece that came out of there. But I'm going to go ahead and put this back in there. I believe. Is that how? No. That is not how it came out of there. Well, interesting. Well, this wood grain, I wonder. Didn't come out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. I can feel that. Where's my razor blade? There it is. I want to get. I should have a guitar coming in here in a few minutes that needs a new string installed, which I may have to step away from this, but I will finish clamping this up first. And I did rehearse the clamp job here, so I'm doing it in the order that I did it earlier to get all of the cracks sealed. I'm going to take a look at the top of the guitar also. And I'm not really paying a whole lot of attention to the comments if anybody's here watching right now. Kind of got to work and immediately jumped into this because I got to get this done for her show this coming weekend. And I can tell that the crack in the top of this, you can't feel it once I've got these clamps on here. As you can see with each clamp, a little bit more squeeze out happens. So we get tighter and tighter and tighter. And I want to get one right here. There we go. Looking good. It's amazing the damage that live musicians will encounter on their instruments. Amazing how often things can get broke. Let's see, so I think I'm going to scoot a couple of these clamps over a little bit just to get them a little bit closer together to see if I can get one more clamp on this, which I think I can. Might be able to get one more. Making sure. Oh yeah, we've got a little bit of glue squeeze out on the top of this. Crack is, you can feel the crack in the finish, but I'm okay with that as long as I can get a good joint here. Okay, I'm looking good. Yeah, that crack just totally vanishes. Can't feel it. There we go. And, oh yeah, thing matched up really nicely. Looks really good. Unfortunately, oh, it's barely noticeable on the front of this guitar, although the crack in the finish, we're not gonna, that's a cosmetic issue. And this thing also has a crack that happened where the side of it hit the ground, and it kind of damaged the top of the guitar a little bit, but it's just cosmetic. But we'll take care of that to make sure that the finish doesn't peel any further. And I want to say big thank you to my friend the Falcro. He and I got together and jammed.
And they're kind of like, they're making a got more than that space, so now
He was kind enough to join me on a Jamland broadcast this weekend, which was really super fun. I know he just has a blast playing guitar, and he's getting really proficient and really confident with his improvisational skills, which is really fun for me to watch happen. So I'm really proud of him for playing as much as he is and practicing. I usually don't tell anybody that's a student or anything to practice, to just play. But there are things that you should practice, and we covered some stuff this weekend, and I learned some things from him. So it was really cool. We had a great time. Okay, I think we're about ready to put this thing. I'm going to move this guitar over to another location, and we'll get the bass out. Let's see. I got to get a guitar stand. So be really careful with your instruments if it's windy out. This is a learning lesson for us all. If you're playing outside at a farmer's market or something like that, be really careful about leaving your instruments sitting in a guitar stand. And I'll also recommend this. Typically don't use guitar stands like that. I'm not a fan of these. I use Hercules stands. Any guitar stand can get knocked over, of course, but these ones, I sell the heck out of these things, but I personally don't own any. Okay, so that's a good old horseshoe style stand. Not a fan of those. I don't recommend using those. If you need a stand at home, put a wall hanger on your wall, would be my advice. It's a good safe place to keep, and make sure your screws hit wood. So we're all glued up here, so we're going to move this one, set it aside, and get onto the bass. Okay. Now, I may have to hold off on doing this bass because of well, thanks, Hugh. Not really achievements yet. It's been fun to be able to do it. It's not nearly as popular as I would hope, and I can't find people to play, but that's probably due to me. And so I will definitely say that. Yeah. Again, I got exactly what I deserved this weekend. If you know me, you know that I can be a bit of a loose cannon, and did something really stupid on a social media platform, and I got exactly what I deserved. So I won't talk any more about that, but I appreciate it. It'd be fun to have you come on and play sometime, but we got to find a time that works, because 4 in the morning is probably not the best time in the world to be playing guitar. I need to stay up until 4 in the morning so that we're playing at 8 o'clock at 9 o'clock at night for you, so you're in the groove and you got plenty of beer on. No, I'm joking. All right. I got to. I'm gonna point you at my guitar rest right there. Let's see. This next instrument, I'm really bummed about this one. Cello here also looks like. Okay. All right. So this is a beautiful instrument that's been on my show once before, at least one time, and I'll give you a good overview of this thing. Here she is, beautiful old bass, beautiful bass, and the checkering in it looks really beautiful, and kind of a rare instrument. Yep, it's a good old Gibson. What model is this thing? It is a oh, the number, yeah, that's right. They have they removed the style. I'm not sure. I'll have to look this one up. I don't remember every single model of guitar that's ever been built all the time, but unfortunately this one, now the break on this is not really too terrible, but it's bad enough that we need to glue it to make sure. Sorry about the movements, but right here you can see the crack that's happened. It's cracked up here. This I haven't really looked at it. It might be cracked down the middle of the headstock. So let me put my camera down and do a little bit of a manhandling on this thing. Yep. It's split all the way down the middle of the headstock down into the neck down here. So let's get to work. Okay, I'm going to pull the strings off of this first. Beautiful old bass. I don't know if anybody knows. I don't know if anybody knows what. Oh, huh? They put the strings on backward. Oh no, they're actually. They have to be that way. I wonder if these machine heads are. Am I? Oh yes. Okay. Seems like these machine heads are turning backwards. That would be usually tuning it up. We'll put a new set of strings on this for her also. Huh. I'm gonna double check something on this thing, because it almost seems like these machine heads are on the opposite sides of the, but there's always that backwards thing that happens. This thing definitely has taken a few hits up here. So I'm gonna pull the truss rod cover off of here, and I think I can take these strings off. Yeah, I can. If I loosen these strings up far enough, I can get these strings off and probably save them for her, just in case she breaks one at a gig. She'll have an extra set. Boy, I wonder if this bass hit on the strings, because these are really gummed up here. Looks like they took an impact also. Help me, my backwards instrument's ready for a gig on this coming Friday here on the west coast of the United States. I mean, we're a long way from the coast, but 400 miles, 300 miles, something like that. So, let's see if I can get these strings off of here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Check out this bridge on this thing, kind of cool. Just share this with you also. Kind of a cool old bridge with a mute on it. And I don't remember what this switch does. I don't recall. Okay, so let's get the strings off of this thing. And I'll just excuse me, I'm still fighting a cold. It's been this is it's week 3 or 4. And again, you get what you deserve. I can't think of anybody who deserves this cold worse than me. Or more than me, I should say. Kind of been a bit of a turd, and I got what I deserved. Okay, put these in the case. Okay, there's that, and we'll pull the truss rod cover off of this because I believe the crack is. Oh, let me get my camera guy keeping up with me. The crack might pass directly through the truss rod slot here, and it may help me get glue into it because this is a very weak spot in Gibson Instruments. I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Come here. Keep my bag with parts and pieces. So we're going to put all of the screws and machine heads and everything in here. I'm going to have to pull the machine heads off of this. While I'm doing this, I'm going to check to see if I can, I don't know if I can reverse these. It's almost, to me, these, maybe that's just how they did it back in this time. I'm not sure. I don't think I can reverse. I can't reverse them. I'm going to get these off of here and we'll see if maybe they've been changed at some point. It might just be the way this thing is designed. You'll notice that the serial number is no longer on the instrument, so it is highly possible that you know, this guitar was maybe come across at some point in its life illegally. I don't know. I wish I could. I wish I knew. I recently purchased a stolen instrument, and I gave the young man that stole it an opportunity to do the right thing. Now these have never been changed, so you know. Yeah, they even have the divots for the. So they turn backwards, huh? Let's see. Can we? Yeah. Okay.
Come on over here. Usually Marshall likes to yak for a minute or two. I said you usually like to yak for a minute or two about guitars.
Yeah, I love yakking. Oh, hello.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you made it.
Yes, thanks for your patience.
Okay, yeah.
We had a family reunion this weekend, so we went.
What's that?
We had a family reunion this weekend, so
Oh,
we were
yeah.
out of town and.
No, it's no
Yada, yada.
problem. Okay.
And that be a guitar?
I am picking up my guitar.
Yeah, this will be a great guitar to learn on.
Yay.
This thing is in really good shape. The
I
string
really
action.
wasn't even sure about the quality of it, so
Yeah.
I didn't know the brand at all. So
These are actually really, I mean, they're affordable guitars, but anything Ibanez is great.
Yeah.
I will say that very humbly,
Cool.
but they are like, with the $400 guitar, probably brand new.
yeah,
These are fantastic.
that's great.
So it's in
I'm
really good
excited.
shape. Cleaned it all up, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have this one probably.
Right. Yeah, those were hers.
Right.
Yeah. This is Remy, by the way.
Yeah, and I use the lightest gauge strings that we have.
Okay, great.
And it's going to take 6 weeks.
To get my calluses.
Yeah, and that's if you're playing every day. So I realize it probably not going to happen that way, but if you can, that will get your calluses built up. Yeah, okay. And medically it does take 6 weeks to get them so after 3 weeks, if you're playing every day, it'll start to mellow out a little bit, but your fingers should feel like they're blistered. Burning, yes. So if you play through that, you're going to be doing yourself a favor. So if you're feeling pain, you're playing enough, and that's God's honest truth. Right? So, yeah. So this thing's all ready to go. I'll take you up front. Did you want to see it, or?
I mean, I trust you, but I'm excited.
You won't recognize it when you're not. I'm joking. Yeah, it's nice and pretty and clean.
Hello, how are you? Those are beautiful flowers.
Flowers in our yard from our flower beds.
Well, when you have kids, you get used to stuff like that.
I know.
Our kids used to dig lorries, and our grandkids did the same. So she's had kids since she was early 20s. So
is that your daughter?
My wife.
Oh, your wife.
Yeah,
yes.
so she's had grandkids dig them up all the way down to Kevin.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
She's used to it.
Yes, totally. I know. Me too. What are those guitars? They're nice guitars. That's what they are.
Yeah, this is a good guitar.
Yeah, I'm glad. I really wasn't sure. Like, my mom just gave it to me. I'm like, well, I have no idea. But
was that
great.
like a
Performer series Ibanez.
The pickup was a
Lawrence? Yeah, it's a Lawrence. It's nice.
Yeah.
All that happened with that was it's a spring-loaded thing, and if the spring gets squeezed, it'll fall inside the instrument. You'll see how it's mounted on there, and you'll see how there's a spring kind of thing on it.
Okay.
And it probably won't come off of there again unless somebody physically have to squeeze it to get it to pop out of there. But it's a got volume control on it, and I think the volume is just at this point turned all the way up on it, but it does work.
Okay.
And it's clean as a whistle, so the electronics are fine.
So I'm sure we sold everything there.
Yeah.
Carry that out.
I'm sure. Oh, thank you, Mike. That would be great.
Kind of heavy.
So if I were
Somebody's getting old. This thing must weigh 5 pounds.
I feel like my body is now that I'm carrying 2 kids all the time. Oh my gosh. But
congratulations on the new one.
oh, thank you.
You have a really new one, don't you?
Yeah, she's 10 months on the 2nd. So
okay.
I mean, yeah, it's flown by. It's so crazy. Yeah, I feel like she's still supposed to be a newborn.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marshall.
Have a good one.
We'll
See ya,
next time,
Jade.
sure.
All right. All right. I love it when they go home. It's always fun to give somebody their guitar back. Young lady's has brand new children, and she is decided to learn to play guitar. So that is really super cool. I've done some sound work for her band. She's a pretty remarkable jazz vocalist, and time's gone by and band members have come and gone. You know how that goes. And she wants to learn to play guitar so that she can play songs and perform by herself. So really cool. She has a nice, her mom gifted her a Ibanez Performer Series guitar. Not a terribly expensive guitar, but she brought it in, and I cleaned it all up and polished the frets and oiled the fingerboard and gave it the whole setup job that I do so often. and really excited for her to play guitar. She's taking some lessons from a lady here in town who primarily is she teaches people to read music on guitar, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I suppose with jazz, being able to read a piece of sheet music is probably a good idea. But more importantly, I think, especially if you're a vocalist, building a chord vocabulary for jazz would be a pretty important part of that learning process. So she hasn't played much, so she's gonna be getting some calluses built up, and so really excited to see her up and playing, and I'm hoping she maybe come in and take some lessons from me to help build her her chord vocabulary. So I'm just seeing where and how badly this thing is broken. We gotta make them worse before we make them better. Yeah, okay. So this right here is definitely cracked. I'm gonna have to do some work getting some glue down in there. Typical Gibson break. This is very common. It's about as good as you can break one, or hope to break one. Unfortunately, where the cracks are, the checkering on the finish has splintered away. So we'll have to take care of that, and I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait a little while before I get gluing on this one, because I don't have enough clamps. I can already know that I've used up enough clamps on that other guitar that I need to let it sit for a couple hours and start to heal up and let the glue dry. You only have to keep a tight bond. They say you only make sure to keep it clamped for 1 hour, and then you can pull the clamps, but I don't trust that. I like going 2 to 3 hours on that, so that's my policy with it. If 1 hour is good, 2 hours is better. Jam Pro. Thanks, dude. Yep, I cannot get over this cold. It is a bad one, and it's been going on 4 weeks, man. Still coughing. It just is not letting go. So it's a bad one, and that this bug, just be aware if you get this thing. Oh geez, I stayed home for 5 days. I got sick on a Friday, and I came back to work the following Thursday. So I stayed home almost 6 full days. I think I came back to work like Wednesday afternoon after I had been sick with it, and I still was not 100%, and I still am not. So it's a bad one, but thanks for pointing that out. So I think, let's see, at this point, I've done all I can do on these instruments. I'm going to let this one sit, and I got to wait for, I'll check it over for any other damage that may have happened, but I don't think there's going to be much else. Unfortunately, it's a classic Gibson headstock break. It's kind of an interesting break on this one, though. It's almost, because one of the machine heads is bent pretty severely, so I'm thinking that it probably tipped over sideways rather than landing flat on its face, although where the strings were passing over the nut, there appears to be a little bit of damage to the nut, and the strings are all real flattened out like it got scraped across some concrete. So my forensic science is telling me that something like that happened. She said that the wind was blowing it. They were saying 25 miles an hour, but that would blow over a guitar standing in a guitar stand for sure. So unfortunately, so another learning experience, and this being an educational video, be very careful if you're playing outside and it's windy. What I recommended to her was, if they ever, again, a learning experience, let me clean this lens off, it's probably a little blurry. if you're playing out when it's windy outside, leave your guitars in the cases and just lay them flat on the ground. Then they can't fall any further, right? And not right next to the edge of a stage or something like that. That's common sense stuff, but doggone it. And this poor girl, I've done so much work in this beautiful bass. It's just really bummer to see this thing get broken like it did. Really beautiful old instrument. And it works fantastically, except for now the headstock's cracked. So, my pancreas is barking at me. Let's see. What do I have? What kind of news do I have? What am I? I am... Oh boy, I got to take some insulin. Let me take some insulin. Oh, and also, we're going to have the same place we were at before. I don't see a problem with playing then for you. Different club only. We're going to have four or five blocks up the street. We're going to be playing a couple of gigs coming up in June, the 14th and 15th. Just another little kind of small detail is that our bass player Daniel is going to play with us on the 14th, but he's also playing bass in another band that takes priority over ours, and he's going to be playing with them on the Saturday. So I'm going to have, it looks like Kevin McElhaney is going to be playing with us again, which he's been a really, it's been really cool to get to play music with him and for him to sit in with us and play for us when we're in need. So pretty darn cool. So we'll move forward with that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this stream now. I thought maybe if you saw how I glue that up and the rehearsals that I do for gluing up an instrument and proper gluing and getting all the glue off the instrument as best you can, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. And I don't have too many complaints. In fact, I don't have any. So again, look forward to a video that I'm going to do about learning a lesson. I'll include some really interesting video in that one. That'll probably be coming up. I'm hoping I can make it by Wednesday or so. Sometimes it's the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah, that's important. So thank you all for hanging out. Thanks to my sponsors, Ernie Ball. I appreciate your support. And I want to everybody just give a big thank you to Smiling Bill Keenum, a wonderful guy, and I hope to talk to him today. So thank you, Jam Pro. Thanks, Mark Tanner. Hugh, thanks for hanging with me today. Peace, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday.